This is one of the more modern steam engines. This was made by the Williams brothers out of Ambler, Pennsylvania, a suburb of Philadelphia. This was designed and made in the early 50s. The two twins, there were 5 Williams brothers. The twins spent their life working on these things, had a shop, were running these engines on steam, on dynamometers, ran them for a long time, took them apart, fixed them, put them together. There are interesting debates as to whether this was a basically intrinsically good design, but this is an example of one of the more modern designs. You cannot truly appreciate it until we pop the head off so you can see the valves. This is a 4-cylinder inline, and it has poppet valves. The cams are under here. You can tell these steam engines that have sliding cams have a heart-shaped casting at the end. This is the end of the camshafts are inside here, and so it's heart-shaped, which shows that the 2 cams for the poppet valves slide back and forth, and each camshaft has basically 4 cam grinds on it for each cylinder. And there are shoulders machined into the cams. There are roller cams that slide on it up and down. And so by moving the cams back and forth, which is what this is here, moves the cams back and forth, and so you can change the cutoff and you can go frontwards and backwards, everything that you need to do without having clutches or gearboxes. This looks pretty much exactly like a regular car engine. It's got pistons, has a crankshaft in the crankcase, all enclosed, has regular camshafts, has poppet valves. The valve stem comes down to here. The valve is in here. The exhaust valve is on this side. The intake valve is over here. The steam comes in here, comes up, goes the whole length. And there is a poppet valve here. The seat valve, you can see them later on. This is just to point out, and this is about a 140 horsepower steam engine. This shows you that people can make modern steam engines. It has normal looking crankshaft, normal looking connecting rods, more or less normal looking pistons, and the poppet valves are set up more or less exactly like a flathead engine would do. What we have here is lubricating oil. We have a Mansell oil thing, which turns very, very slowly, pumps a little drop of oil into the steam intake, and that lubricates the pistons and the connecting rods. The poppet valves themselves do not need lubrication because they're not a sliding valve. They just either seat or unseat. And that's the only reason for showing this at this time. We can go into infinite detail. This is just to show you that steam engines do not have to be old-fashioned. They can be more or less normal looking and more or less normal acting, and can do more or less 5,000 RPM, and can turn out appropriate power